Hey, this is Jason.
This is Seth.
And this is the Rough Country Podcast.
Episode 1. This is where we get to set the tone, communicate the mission of what we're trying to get out of the podcast, give context around who we are as a brand, obviously who we are as host. So let's start with our backgrounds, our work with the Rough Country, obviously, and then we'll integrate into giving more context around what people can expect from the podcast and hopefully the outcomes that we expect from it. So what year did you start working here at Rough Country?
It was the spring of 2006 is when I joined the team.
When you officially came on board, what department position did you start in?
So funny, when I first come on, nobody hired directly into sales. If nothing else, they want us to kind of work in the warehouse a little bit until we understood the flow of the company. And mind you, there was only 30-some employees, low 30
That's
employees.
So wild.
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, obviously for my take of being more fresh.
That's right. And now we're like close to 600 employees, so just seeing that growth over time. But yeah, I come on in 2006, went into kind of hired directly into sales, but had to work the warehouse for a little bit.
Yeah.
And the first job they had me do was out there packing Cold Springs. And I was like, man, I am not a labor guy.
Sure.
So I
important job, but
a very important job, and
not for you,
and was not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So I quickly found an office that was empty and moved into there and just started answering phone calls and going from there.
And that really fits your personality,
Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely prefer to talk more than lift.
Right.
Right.
But some of that's changed too.
Yeah,
man. You've been getting after it, hitting the weights.
Trying to. So when did you come on? You come on a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. So initially, for a little context, started working with Rough Country in a partial capacity in 2020 as RC's first brand ambassador. So a lot of that just being based off of
That's crazy thing is 2020.
I know, it's wild. No, during COVID, all those things. But
with your Tacoma?
Not yet. So we bought my Tacoma in the fall of 2019. And so all around kind of that time. And, a lot of that alignment with what I was kind of already doing from, I was being, marketing manager for a sporting goods dealer here in West Tennessee, Union City, Tennessee, Final Flight Outfitters. But I was doing a lot of just, really integrating more into the travel off-road world, which obviously, as Heather, our family loves.
Right.
So a lot of mutual alignment. And that was kind of in the time frame that Rough Country was placing a lot more focus on lifestyle, brand marketing, and from a product development standpoint, just the overlanding scene and that kind of stuff. So, that was kind of the start. And then 2 years later, 2022, came internal full-time here at HQ. And
did we reach out to you, or did you reach out saying, hey, are you looking for anybody?
No, it was kind of multiple conversations. I had brought it up in some different ways. I think in some ways, Alan advocated it a lot for
Alan's our producer.
Alan's our producer. And he's absolutely a machine, helping us be squared away and dialed in. But I think he advocated for me. And then my initial involvement and relationship with Rough Country started more so on the development side, obviously with having the Tacoma and having that relationship and, just asking questions, feedback, putting on product, and then ultimately my taco becoming kind of like our marketing build to help to not only test fit and try new products, but also develop marketing content around.
Right.
But from there, just like anything else, it's building good relationships, building trust factor, and then some of that was timing. And so just kind of all of that alignment coming together. And with Heather and I mean, starting a family, we moved back to West Tennessee from East Tennessee, all kind of in that time frame. And
it's a busy couple of years.
Yeah, man, it's some ways I'm like, goodness, I didn't even process some of it.
Right.
But all those factors kind of coming in together to making the decision and seeing the trajectory of growth here for Rough Country, and the direction that we're kind of headed, and now that we know we are for sure headed, not only from product offerings but just the type of marketing that we're doing, really doing more brand marketing in addition to how well Rough Country has done product marketing and just that merging. So and then obviously that's where you and I first connected.
Yeah. I think I was scheduled to do a trade show and I was asking internally, like, hey, I need to take someone with me. And I believe it was our VP of sales was like, you should take Seth with you. And I'm like, I don't even know this guy.
Yeah.
Or, I got to go spend a weekend with him, but whatever, we'll give it a shot, you know? Yeah. And then we connected pretty well from there. And there was definitely a lot of nuances that we had to learn of each other.
Right.
But I couldn't ask for a better road partner.
Oh, no, I
for sure.
totally agree, man. Missions and miles. But anyway, back to, just your integration into sales, me bringing up your personality and what that's like, currently, as of right now, you're, essentially manager of international relations and that kind of thing in our international sales.
Yeah, helping expand our international reach, international business development.
Right. But, you've worn many different hats and many different capacities, obviously with international events, just giving, on the development side, giving input and feedback and those kind of things. So,
starting in the customer service sales side of it, and customer service is so big for us as a company, I learned a lot of traits and a lot of the do's and don'ts,
right?
Which obviously transfers over into trade shows and how to deal with customers and problem solve,
right?
And then over into international and the sales aspect and how to grow that side of it,
right?
It's definitely a harder area to connect with, But there's the one common denominator between domestic and international, no matter where they are in the world, is we all love vehicles.
Right. Absolutely.
So it definitely helps.
Yeah.
It's a universal language for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. But back to the point about the Tacoma, because really my first interaction wasn't on the Tacoma. It was on our Subaru Crosstrek when they were.
Oh, wow. Really?
When they, I don't know who it was that figured out that we had a Crosstrek, because I don't really post on social media a ton about it. But it was just the standard leveling kit that we were looking at. They at the time were looking to test fit, and from there, it was building that relationship, and it's been a good integration just out of the fact of more of my experience comes from hunting shooting side, and even though I still maintain some of the strategic partnerships and that lifestyle, I wanted to go full send within the outdoors travel world.
Yeah, because so many of our products transfer over to the outdoor shooting lifestyle.
Absolutely. For our case of Rough Country HQ being here in West Tennessee, there's so many unique layers to the story of that. But then having the ability to actually be here, and because before I came internal, I was already developing relationships with not so much on the sales side like we all, but relationships with development, relationships with a couple of the key marketing people here, and that helped give me, you think about what urged the decision for me to actually come full time,
and what gave you the level of confidence to say this is where I want.
That's right. So I kind of got to see a little bit behind the veil, behind the scene of what was going on. And like when I first met some of the guys over at the shop, it's like, I just want to sit here and listen to them all day and ask them questions, because it's like, and I think that's for a lot of people out there. They love to live the lifestyle, but they need somebody to trust to give them feedback about, whether it's you should run it like this or this. Yeah,
because everybody builds their trucks differently and everybody uses their trucks differently.
Absolutely.
So no matter if they have the same vehicle, same platform, and the same suspension lift, same products, you may utilize yours different than the way they use theirs. Right. So different feedback and different suggestions, ideas, and kind of spitball from there.
No, for sure. But so you're a family man. You happily married to an awesome woman.
And my wife Whitney, she's great. She's definitely been the grounding force behind a lot of me, especially a lot of personal changes in the last several years.
Yeah, no, so absolutely.
Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, and likewise, Heather, obviously, her super well. She's been my rock and that kind of goes, everything personally, professionally, it kind of all evolves around the outdoors off-road lifestyle. And so, now that we have kids, like just, it kind of all crosses over as we do the work that we're passionate about, and
we're raising future off-roaders.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
That's right.
Hopefully, Lucy says I want big truck, so it's like I'll try to get you a big truck, baby.
That's right. We'll get you one day for sure.
Yeah. So
we had to start lifting with the toy cars. And
that's right. That's right. So less about us, more about the podcast now. what can people expect from what type of content we are going to be communicating and offering through this podcast?
Definitely the goal of the podcast is to help get the brand out there and for people to see that Rough Country is not just an off-road brand or an off-road product. We're a complete vehicle lifestyle,
right?
Whether it be from floor mats to bed covers to running boards. So just getting that message out there.
That's right.
And expanding the reach, but also humanizing the brand. Let people connect and see kind of more behind the scenes of Rough Country.
Right.
Also bring on some guests, familiarize themselves more with the brand as a whole and not just lift kits or suspension company. We offer so much more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think so. I mean, I've learned a lot more about that, for guys like you that have been here for so long and been through a lot of the changes of Rough Country to where we are at now to we're so much more than Rough Country suspension systems, which I mean, even our logo has changed.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's shifted to this very diverse product offering for however people are building not just their trucks but their SUVs,
CUVs,
UTVs. I mean, we're integrated into all those aftermarket categories, but for the sake of this and what people can expect from a content standpoint is, really we care a lot about the community. We care about the people. We care about the categories, and utilizing this platform and our resources to whether it's we're bringing guests on that are either partners or, people from the industry that internal people, or it's, what's going on here at Rough Country, whether it's new products, builds, products,
events.
That's right, events. I mean, we're going to talk a lot about events because we are the ones doing the events.
Right.
And so it's bringing all that and really communicating the brand of Rough Country to the people that trust our products and to all the people that haven't discovered our products yet, but have the potential to personalize, whether it's for off-road performance or it's just everyday travel, like we've talked about, to the grocery store, pick your kids up.
Right.
I mean, personalizing your vehicle for the lifestyle you live. And that's what Rough Country is all about. And that's really what the podcast is going to be all about.
Yeah. And I think so much of it we take for granted, especially I know I do at times, been around the company since 2006, knowing how big Rough Country is and how far we've come and how big we've grown.
Yeah.
Thinking that everybody out there knows who Rough Country is.
Sure.
But that's not the case.
Right.
And people come up to us all the time, not so much of not knowing the different categories, because that's a whole nother side of it. But,
yeah.
Tell me about Rough Country.
Right.
And so this is a great platform for us to get out the message of who Rough Country is.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that all that goes kind of back into the expectation kind of you talked about of the goal of the podcast is utilizing this platform in a way to communicate, entertain, help educate, and just provide content that enables them to either make a better purchasing decision or understand the community, the category, the lifestyle. For example, I mean, there may be somebody that doesn't, is interested in, for our case, we're super interested in overlanding just ourselves.
Right.
And that, they've seen it, they've heard about it, they don't know much about it. But, if we can utilize our resources and this platform to help educate them, help, get through that barrier of entry or help, fit out their systems or their rigs to do that, then good.
That's right. Yeah. So, the more the community grows, the better we all do.
That's right. Exactly. So,
and it's a great community on all aspects of it, whether, like I said, the UTV, sprinter van, overlanding, rock crawling, mall crawling, as they call it.
Right.
Every category there is, we offer a little bit of everything for everybody or a lot for some.
Right.
But granted, we are a brand podcast, but it's the community and the lifestyle we want to talk about. Get more exposure for the lifestyle.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of serious talk about it, but we're also going to have a lot of fun with it. So, yeah, I'm excited for it.
I am too. We're going to have a lot of fun. So if you want to join the ride with us, check out roughcountry.com/podcast.